for that previous day's class, was there any problem that we have learned about the root? Was there any question do you have?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay, okay. So today we will learn about a little bit that the stem. Next portion is a stem. Okay, a stem. This is the upper part. Okay, upper part of the plant. That is the aerial. It is, we can say, usually the aerial part of plant axis. Is it? Axis of the plant, is that the aerial part. It's the stem is the major portion of the, this is the major part of shoot system. Is it? You can read my writing on the computer. Hello?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You can read, no? So if any problem, you please let me know. And this stem, this portion develop from plumule. Is it? Develop from plumule. Root system that develop from the radicle, and the shoot system. So a stem and rest of the portion they develop from plumule. This stem, they have actually, they usually bears branches. So branch and branchlet. Is it? Branchlets, small branches, they bear leaves, they bear bud, flower, and fruit. Their main function is to spreading out the branches so that the leaves get better light, and all other flower fruit, they are well spread. Was it? Some other characteristics that these stems have. This stem give rise leaves, and from the point that the leaves comes out, that is, that part is known as node. So a stem has node and internode. Is it? Node are that portion of the stem. Say if this is the stem, all right? So here the leaf is coming out. So this portion is the node. So this point is node, and the portion in between two successive nodes, that is known as internode. So node internodes are there. And also what happen, this stem, they bear Buds. Buds, that is the a very young portion which grow into either the branches or the flower. All right. So these buds again are two type. One is called vegetative bud and another is a reproductive bud. Is it? The vegetative bud, that is vegetative bud, or they will ultimately grow into the branches. All right. They will grow into branches. And reproductive bud, that is a flower bud. The position of these birds also are different. These birds may be, in another way we can say that bird may be terminal or it may be axillary. Axillary, terminal, that is the bud is at the tip of the plant. All right. The bud is at the tip of the plant, and axillary bud, that is at the axil of the leaf. So this is, so here I think you can, if you read these portions also, there is a writing portion I will give you. You will get it, these things in the YouTube. Okay, it will be given. So from there also you can copy this portion that I have written. Otherwise, let here I will make the explanation mainly. So they have node, internode, and the buds. These are the very characteristic, important character of all the stem. The stems are usually green in color when it is young, but later on it becomes non-green. It may be brown, dark brown, or light brown, and it becomes very hard also. Of course, it depends that in some of the plant, the entire stem portion is green, others it is not. Function of the stem is, main function is that I told, the spreading out of the branches so that the flower, fruits, etc. are well spread and held appropriately. This is, and also that is it has a function, that function is, one more function is conduction. Conduction of water, minerals, which is absorbed from soil, and also the organic food that is synthesized in the leaf. So this conduction is the major function of the stem that it does. And also beside this they store also. Storage also is another function, storage of food material, water, etc. Now, beside the normal structure of the stem and their function, sometimes many of the stem they carry out different types of work, that is beside the normal function. So when they carry out a special function, so their shape is changed. Shape or the morphology is changed. Shape is changed according to their function, and this is we call modification. Like in the root we have learned something, the modification of root. So like that the stem also has the modification. So a stem modification we will learn. In the stem modification, we can see that a stem has actually mainly the stem grow above the ground, that is in the this is aerial, that is growing in the air, so aerial. But in some of the plant the stem grow below the inside the soil, that is underground. All right, so the stem modifications are, they are underground, and there is above ground. Above ground is, that is aerial modification. Aerial modification or aerial stem. Okay, underground stem. And in between there are a stem which is just on the surface of the soil, or little below the soil, or partially inside the soil. Those portion that is in between, so this in between one is subaerial modification. So there are subaerial stems. Now I'll show you some of the photographs that we have here. Say, can you recognize this one? This is potato. This one is ginger, ginger turmeric, and this is jamicand, that is colocasia shrew, that you usually it is called in local language, you know, that jamicand, or it is colocasia. Colocasia. Okay, these are underground stem. In case of banana also, banana plant also, there is partially underground stem is there, partially, not fully. So here these are underground stem. Here this one is tuber, that is potato tuber. This one ginger is usually known as rhizome. Okay, this one is a fleshy stem. This one is fleshy stem, and grow horizontally, repeatedly branch. This one sometime this is usually vertically it grow. And this potato is it is irregular, more or less spherical, more or less, but with slight irregularity is there. That structure which actually grow from the underground branches of the stem. All these underground stem, they are actually taken the different shape due to accumulation of food material. So they function as a storage organ. A storage organ, and after that they remain underground. They remain underground, and when there is favorable condition comes from from this potato, ginger, or this colocasia, new buds comes out, and so new plants are produced. Okay, so their function, this underground stem, their function is actually this stem, their function is a storage of food. And next one is perennation. Perennating body, or perennation, or they function as a perennating body. Perennation means to tide over the unfavorable condition. To tide over condition. During this, what happens? Ginger, I think if you know that when ginger plant grows in the field, after when it attains certain age, the above ground portion it dies. Okay, but the below ground part, that the rhizome, this one remain in the soil, and when next favorable season come, from that new plant grow. So they overcome the unfavorable condition by staying under the soil. You should remember one thing, that below the soil, the environmental changes are very, very less. Okay, but above the soil, above the ground, the environmental changes, say temperature, etc., change is very prominent, but under soil it is very less. So they remain under soil during the unfavorable condition, and when favorable condition come, they grow into new plant. So it is functioning as perennating body by vegetative multiplication or vegetative propagation. Is it? But do you know how this potato is cultivated? For the cultivation of potato, this potato tubers are planted in the soil. They are not usually by the seed. Okay, for the turmeric, ginger, this is also by that turmeric or ginger pieces. They are mm, they are planted, they are kept under the soil, and then it germinate. Okay, this portion of the plant, this ginger is growing below the soil, potato growing below the soil. Then how can we identify that this is a stem? No, I did. identification that it is a stem, not root. How can we prove this identification? That there is presence of, first thing is presence of node and internode. Nodes and internodes are present. Then presence of bud. Of buds, vegetative buds are there. Buds are there. And then what about the leaves? So scale leaves are present. Leaves present. Have you seen that if this is a potato, potato can be drawn like in any way, is it? Say, and then what you can see in certain places, like this type of marks are there, and in this mark there are something at the axils of these. Okay, so these mark, curve like marks. This is actually the node, and this one at the axil, this is the bud, and these two together appear like the human eyes. So this is known as eyes of potato, and these eyes contain the vegetative bud. So at the time of germination, these buds grow into new plants. Right? In case of, if we see, in case of ginger, turmeric, no, ginger, this is branches are there. They have branch, and you will find that in ginger they branch a lot, no? Branching is there. So this, and there are marks like this you can find, is it? And on these there are a scale like thing, very fine paper like structure. Okay, this papery structure are the scale leaf, and this is internode. All right, these are internode, this is node, and say these are birds. Okay, bird. So these things you can see any of the ginger. Ginger is very common at home, is it? So you can observe that one, and the bud is there. So bud is there, node is there, internode is there, scale leaves are there. So naturally it is a stem, is it? So this is the underground modification. There are above ground or modifications are also there. That some of the plant, here is one plant showing that this is Oxalis plant. Okay, this one is Oxalis, this plant. This plant, in this plant, what happened? These plants are, in case of, this is a subaerial modification. Subaerial modification we find in case of oxalis, that in grasses, mint, strawberries, strawberry, that is fragaria, right? In these, usually they have the stem, these stems grow just flat on the ground. They have lateral branches with node and internodes. They are touching the ground. So what happened? From the node they give rise roots, and when they give rise the root, from the top they will give rise leaves, and this one, if it is detached here, this one will be a new individual plant. A strawberry also, they grow the lateral branches from the base of the main stem that come out, grow, but it is weak, so it touch the ground again. Here where it touch the ground, they forms the root, and above there is leaves. So this one will form a new plant, and this portion of the this portion is of the stem is sometimes called stolon, right? And there are very short stem we find in case of pistia and eichhornia. Water hyacinth, okay. Pistia and eichhornia, they have lateral branches. A stem is very short, main stem in the main plant. They give rise flat lateral branches, and those lateral branches at each node, the node is very short, say one plant is here, and this bunch of roots are here, and will give rise a stem, lateral branches. This is the node. Again, at each node, they will give rise a new leaves at the top and root below. So when it will detach, this plant and this plant will separate, and this one will have independent plant. So this type of, sometimes this stem is known as offset. But you should know that these lateral branches having buds, they multiply. They are for the vegetative reproduction. In case of, have you seen that how the chrysanthemum you grow in at home? chrysanthemum. And have you seen that banana plant, how it is, it multiply? This chrysanthemum, banana, then pineapple. Sometimes they give rise branches. They give rise branches from the base of underground stem. Okay, say this is a plant of chrysanthemum. This is soil layer here, and this one is underground portion. Here is root. Okay, this portion up to is a stem. So what happened? This underground portion, they give rise to lateral branches. These branches move, and after that it will grow obliquely and give rise branches which will come out of the soil, giving new leaves, etc. And this portion later on develop roots. All right, this is the way that chrysanthemum is growing. That's why once you plant a chrysanthemum plant, and later on you will find that these are growing in numbers, multiplying. So this is called sucker. These underground branches growing obliquely, this is called sucker. This type of things also having in the banana also. Where you will find that if you have a banana plant, no, here is the stem, actual stem. This is a corm, and from these the lateral branches come out and new banana plants grow. So this is what happened. So these all these that underground and subaerial modification, they actually mean for the subaerial one. Subaerial modification is a stem is for vegetative multiplication. Means increasing the number, vegetative propagation. The stem of the upper aerial stem, that aerial modification. Aerial modification, one is called thorn. Thorn, you know, these are thorns are woody, means it is hard, pointed structure for defense. Okay, these grazing animals, etc., other, they harm the plant, so they should have defense mechanism. So these thorns are woody and pointed, very hard, strong, woody structure, pointed structure. They are called thorns, and these thorns are a stem modification. Why they are a stem modification? these thorns come out from the axil of the leaf. Say this is the leaf. This one is the leaf, and from here usually come out a pointed structure. This one is thorn. Otherwise, this is a place for where the branches should come out. Is it? So in this position, we are getting a pointed structure. So this is thorn, and this one is the modification of a stem or branch. This thorn we find in all the citrus. In the citrus, that is lemon, oranges, all the citrus fruit, all short of lemon. Okay, in this we get thorn. Then we get thorns in bougainvillea. Bougainvillea, they have bougainvillea, very beautiful climber plant having beautiful flowers. Okay, and here what happened, the thorn that come out is a little bit curved, and by this curved thorn, this function as a defense organ and also for the climbing. Means it is functioning as a nail, no? So it help in climbing. Another type of, okay, I can show you, we have the photographs here. This is bougainvillea. Okay, this one is bougainvillea, and here you can stem modified into a spine thorn. All right, this one you can see here. This is the stalk of the leaf, and this structure is the thorn. So then next is another type of that modification is found in case of in some those pumpkins, grape, cucumbers. In these, there is a coiled structure, and that is known as a stem tendrils. Say these things, I think you have learned in your lower classes also. So try to recall those things. This stem tendril, in case of say pumpkin, etc., what you can see that the leaves are more or less it is like this. Okay, and here what you will find that there is a spring like structure. No? And this spring like structure, you will find that it coil around some of the support to the other plant branches, etc. Any support they get, they coil around this. These plants are actually very weak plants, so they have to climb, and this form a climbing organ. All right. So these stem tendrils are, that is the thin coiled structure. function is climbing. This thing you can find it in a squash. Now a squash is growing plenty, and all the Shillong children, they know it. So in the squash fruit tree, fruit plants, you can see this climbing organ, tendril, all these pumpkin, cucumber, grape, grapevines, all these you will get this type of structure, that is a stem tendril. Next is that one is called Phylloclade. Okay, Phylloclade is, these are fleshy green, mostly fleshy green, flat or cylindrical, flat or cylindrical stems with or without leaves. Okay, this is found in all sort of cacti and some member of Euphorbiaceae. Euphorbia. A common cactus is, say, like Opuntia. Opuntia, you have, I think you have seen this type of plants having spines on its surface. So here no leaves. These are desert plants that is growing in dry habitat. So here this is the stem, modified stem. All sort of cactus, you have seen cacti, they have a different shape and size of the uh, plant stem. See here, this one, this is a pumpkin plant, okay, cucumber or pumpkin plant having this thread like structure. You can see these are actually the tendrils. From that, so beside this, there are some other types of modifications of the stem also found, but all we don't require here. We have to go according to our book, that how much is there. Okay, then this description of this you will find here in this description. All right, description is there. In short description of this, you can get it and read. Next, we will say in the, that is the leaf. Okay, come to the another prominent structure, that is the leaf. I have here different diagrams, photographs of the leaves. Or you can say leaf. Leaf in any of the plant, this is a very prominent structure. This one, whenever we see, this is naturally a green color structure. This is very flat and thin structure and plenty. In most of the plant is covered with leaves. Plenty of leaves are there. Of course, in some of the plant, the leaves are very less in number, say like in all sort of palm tree. No, the leaves are only at the tip. There is a crown of leaves, and the entire stem column is empty. So these are flat green photosynthesizing organ. Flat green photosynthesizing organ. Is it? And in identifying the plant, this leaf, we don't have any problem. Okay, here you can see one of the stem. This is a cactus that the Phylloclade, I told this is Phylloclade. Okay. See here, this one, you can, I think, see the structure of the leaf. A leaf has three parts. One is this one, okay? This is first portion of the leaf is this, the leaf base. Another part is number 2 is the petiole, that is the stalk of the leaf. Leaf base is that portion where the leaf is attached to the stem. Say this is the stem and here it is attached. So this is the leaf base, and this is the main portion of the leaf, which is flat green portion, that is known as lamina. All right, and in this lamina there is this is also known as leaf blade. Okay, this is leaf blade. In the leaf base here, this leaf base, where the leaf base attached to the stem, in some of the plant, okay, say here, from here the leaf is coming out, at this portion near the leaf base, some structure is also found. Not in all the plant. These two lateral, this is one pair. Okay, this one is known as stipul. So this is stipul. Stipul, if you see those China rose plant, there you will get two structure, green structure, very fine and pointed. In some cases, if you see the leaf of some of the leguminous plant, the portion of the leaf base, at the leaf base, it is slightly swollen. So leaf base is swollen. This swollen leaf base is called pulvinous. In case of in case of grasses, what happen that say this is the stem, here is the node, the leaf is coming out from here, so the leaf base is like a sheath covering, and then the petiole. So it is partially or fully cover the stem, internode, and from here is the leaf. This is found in grasses. This leaf sheathing or leaf sheath is there. There are many different types are there. Okay, this is petiole. Petiole is the mainly a stalk. We can say it is a stalk of the leaf, by which it is held little bit away from the branches so that it is spread, it get well amount of light and air, is it? So it is exposed to light and air, and due to this long petiole, it is easy for the lamina to always make a movement, and by making movement, this temperature heat from the surface of the leaves moves away and fresh air come in touch with the leaf. There is the lamina is the broad portion, and here what we can see that there is a main vein passing from the base of the leaf to the apex. This is leaf apex, okay? Apex or leaf tip. And this one, this main vein that is seen, this is called midrib, right? And from here, there are branches, you can see that the branches are coming out, branches, again further branch. So these are the veins. This is the main vein, which is called the midrib, and there are branches. So vein and veinlet. थोड़ा बाद में एक तो क्लास ले रहा है. So this is so these veins are actually the channel. It is made of xylem and phloem. Okay, it is made of xylem and phloem, and they are for the helping the transportation of water, minerals, and food synthesized in the leaves, and water coming from the root. Okay, this due to these veins also the leaves become strong. So this is the things that they provide mechanical support. Okay, next thing in the leaf is one, as I told about the veins. No, these veins, the distribution of veins of vein is very distinct in the leaves, and this pattern of distribution of veins, pattern of arrangement or distribution of veins is known as venation. Okay, this is called venation, and there are two principal type of venation. Two type, basic two type of venations are there. One is called reticulate, and another one is parallel. Okay, reticulate venation and parallel venation. Reticula means a network. Here what happens, the veins and venlet, they make the reticular network. They divide repeatedly. Say there is a leaf, all right, and this is the main vein. Say one is going, this one give rise branches, all right, and each one again, these branches again branch out, all right. Again, these branches also give lateral branches. So, throughout the lamina, there are branching of veins, all right, and they appear as a network. So, this one is reticulate venation. This reticulate venation is characteristics of, this one is characteristics of dicot plant. That is, dicot plant leaves shows reticulate venation. And parallel one is in particularly in case of grasses and other monocot, say like in case of banana, in maize, in turmeric, in the other type of say plants which are monocot. In those, what happen, the leaves are usually, it is narrow leaves. So what happened, these veins, that branches, these veins run more or less parallel to the main axis. Not exactly parallel, but parallel. But there is no lateral branching, repeated branching. So this type of vein is known as parallel venation, and this one is characteristic feature of monocot. Of course, there are several monocot plants where reticulate venation is found, not the parallel venation. In grasses, it is there. In banana plant, there is parallel venation. So we have to learn this. Okay, today up to here. The next portion we will continue in the next class. Let's see. Here is, say, the all about this, the venation. This is the two leaves showing the reticulate, and this one is a reticulate venation, And this is monocot leaf showing the parallel venation. The veins are running more or less parallel. Okay, so this is reticulate and parallel venation. If you see the leaves against the light, then you can make out that which one is parallel, which one is reticulate venation. Okay, we'll stop today